Hello everybody! I'm quite excited about this video today. I've not filmed the assumptions tag since before my wedding. August 2019 was the wedding. I think I filmed this maybe around the June, so it's been like 2 years. Goodness, it feels like it should have been more than that. But anyway, it's been some time. I've seen this tag being floated around again recently. Esther's done it, Amelia's done it. It's just a really nice one to kind of get to know me and also go through some of those kind of hot topics that I don't usually touch on. Hopefully put some assumptions to rest. Okay, so I've asked on my Instagram, I asked on stories for some assumptions, and I was reading through some earlier with Alex, and there are some really great assumptions in here. So I'm going to go through the ones that are potentially the juiciest that you might be most intrigued about. So honestly, the majority of these are so lovely, it's so sweet and really, really kind. So thank you to everyone that's left me an assumption. I'm going to kick off with this one. You worked your ass off for years before being able to earn and make a living out of this. Yes. When it comes to blogging and the influencer industry, it only really started to become monetizable around 2014, 2015. I started in 2012 with the blog first and foremost, as well as Instagram. And back then there was no money in it. It was all just completely passion and writing about beauty and products that I loved. And honestly, I still adore this industry as much now as I did then. The whole space has completely changed and there's far more money to be made in this industry now than there ever was. You're in so much debt from renovations. That is hilarious. As much as obviously it costs a lot of money to renovate a whole house from start to finish, and a lot of the rooms we have renovated, I must admit that we are working to somewhat of a budget. In terms of going into debt, I'm not going into debt. I'm not spending beyond my means, that's for sure. So yeah, no, I'm not in debt. You don't have to pay full price for any of your designer items. Okay, that's not true at all. I spend a lot of money buying my own clothing, shoes, bags. Yes, I also am so lucky and extremely grateful that I am sent a number of bags to review and to wear, and they are a wonderful gift. But equally, I buy just as much for myself in terms of designer clothing, luxury clothing. I don't always get discounts on things. I don't always get everything for free or gifted. I do also spend a lot of money on my wardrobe. You're married to a millionaire sugar daddy. Alex is just a very normal, lovely guy. I don't know if this person is assuming that I have like some kind of sugar daddy in the background who's like a millionaire who gives me all my money for my clothes and bags, potentially. But no, I'm not married to a millionaire. There's a lot around clothes and money and expenses in these questions. This one is, you buy the super expensive clothes to film with and then return them. No, not really true. The majority of the things that I film, say if I'm doing like a haul or like a discovery video, I've kind of moved away from the whole haul situation when it comes to videos. Quite often I'll call my video a haul because the algorithm loves the word haul, but usually my videos are more discovery videos where I've bought a large number of things and I try them on with you to get your opinions, also to help like inspire maybe some new choices or if you're looking for something new. But no, I don't often keep everything. I send it back, just in the same way that you could buy a load of things to try on at home and send them back. I definitely don't buy things, wear them out and about and then send them back. I'll film my YouTube videos in them to show you guys and then I'll send them back. You know, I'm not going to keep hold of a load of clothes that I don't need, and especially not at that price point. You like to have time alone and don't like to always have people around you. This is actually somewhat true. As much as I love socialising, I'm quite an extroverted person. I'm quite confident as well, so going out and meeting people and seeing people is something I find just very easy. But there are also a lot of times where I do just love to sit by myself with no interruptions, no distractions, and just have a bit of me time, just like zone out, even if that's like doing my makeup or cleaning up somewhere or tidying something up or watching a film by myself. I do often like that time alone as well. I think it's nice just to kind of recharge and not speak for a little while. You make all the decisions when it comes to house renovations. In honesty, this is actually mainly true, only because I'm super interested in interior design. I have lots of ideas, I have pin boards, I'm constantly looking for things, and I'm actually really interested in that. Alex is not interested in interior design. It's not bothered about decorating the house in a certain way, and he really trusts and likes my ideas. Say if I'm going to go buy a dining table or like a big piece of furniture, I'll always go and ask Alex, like, what do you think? And, you know, give him choices between things. So we definitely like talk about things together. I don't just buy things and they show up and it's like, ta-da! The researching, the finding things, the organising, the dates of deliveries, etc. That's all me doing all the interior design. And I know in the past on my Fro Home account, I've written captions where I sort of say, I've done this and I've done this and I've chosen this. And so a few people have been like, why don't you ever say we when it's yours and Alex's home? And it's literally because I am the person buying the stuff, arranging it, decorating it, styling it up. That's the only reason. There's a couple of questions like this one. You never argue with your husband. This isn't true, and in honesty, I'd be skeptical of any relationship where people say they don't argue. I mean, great if you actually don't and you get on that well and you're so in sync with each other that you don't feel you have to argue. I just know from experience that when couples don't argue enough, that things build up. And sometimes a good argument helps kind of clear the air and gets little niggles and stresses out in the open. So no, we probably argue just as much as any other normal couple, just about, you know, small little things. It's usually more like heated discussions, to be honest, unless we are extremely overworked and it's got to like breaking point where it, you know, it just gets a lot more heated. We definitely argue. We just have a very normal relationship, I think. This one, me and Alex get asked a lot about. And I don't know if I've just never mentioned it, because it's certainly not a point of contention in any way, and it's not something either of us are trying to hide. Someone's asked, you drive because Alex can't, which is true. Alex doesn't drive. I mean, he grew up in cities like I did. At that time, he didn't have the money to do lessons, and so he just never drove. Like, luckily, my dad was really pushy back when I was 17 and was like, Vicky, you need to get through your test. Honestly, this will be the best thing you do just to get it over with. So you've got your test at 17 and you don't have to ever think about it again. And if anything, my dad is now like, Alex, you need to get through your test. Come on, you need to get some lessons on. It's just that it's been COVID, no real lessons have been going on. Alex did a couple and then obviously they had to like be halted. So yeah, he'll be learning to drive soon. He just hasn't in the past. It's honestly not a big deal to us. I really quite enjoy driving. But yeah, that's why I do the driving. There's no secret thing. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, Alex doesn't drive, does he? It's like, no, right now he doesn't drive, but I'm sure he will soon. You would like a second dog? Honestly, we would love a second dog. Dachshunds often are great in pairs because of their personalities. They're extremely loyal dogs and they love comfort. Like, Bo does not leave your side and he will be as close to you or on you as possible if he's sat with you. He just loves to feel that connection. And so that's why most people that I know who have Dachshunds or speak about them are like, they do work well as a pair. Equally, I don't think they have to be in a pair though. Bo seems so extremely happy the way he is. For us, we want to get back into work after the pandemic has hopefully reduced and life goes back to normal. We want to see how our working situation goes when it kind of goes back to normality. Obviously, we're not going to be travelling anywhere near as much, but the times when we have to travel, Bo will go to a good friend's or he will go on a little vacation to close friends of ours who have dogs as well, or even my mum will come and get him. So he'll be well taken care of, but there's a difference between giving a friend one little dog and two little dogs. So that obviously is something we need to bear in mind. But down the line, definitely, if I don't end up travelling anywhere near as much for work in the next few years, then likely we will get a second little sausage dog because we are just in love with Bo. He is the best, most beautiful breed. You have many projects coming up we have no idea about. In honesty, yes, I do have a number of really exciting projects coming up that I'm working on. It's the reason why recently I've not been vlogging as much, because my weeks have been filled with meetings or chats or work bits related to projects that I can't yet tell you about. So I'm finding that I don't have much to vlog otherwise. But lots coming up, don't worry, I'm working very hard behind the scenes, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to telling you all about it soon. This is such a lovely one. You are extremely happy and fulfilled. Yes, I would say so. Especially recently, I just feel so much contentment, especially now that my family are all getting vaccinated and things are kind of starting to become a little bit more normal again. It feels like life is starting to move on, and me and Alex are fantastic. We have our beautiful boat, we're very lucky to have this house and the life that we live, and I feel very, very lucky every day. I feel extremely grateful. Yeah, I'm just very, very happy at the moment. This is so funny, kind of hilarious. I'm hoping that she's sort of joking here. You don't pay for anything except bills. That's incorrect. I don't pay for bills either. I'm kidding. Of course, oh my gosh, I wish I paid for nothing. Honestly, I'm just a normal person that has to go out and do the food shop, that spends a lot of money on their own wardrobe. Of course, like, you've got to bear in mind as well with bloggers, as much as I try to cut down on how much I buy, the point of the blogger is to show continuous new trends and styles and the hottest new items. Because it's all about inspiration. Being a blogger is about inspiring people to the newest thing. It's kind of in the job title. My best girl mates, for example, they probably buy just as much as I do, but then I'm also gifted a lot on top of that, so it looks like I've continuously got a lot. Always buying my own things too. Plus, I'm always buying for the house, travel, anything else for the business. Rest assured, I don't just pay for the bills. I wish that was the case. Oh, this is really nice. You have a lot of girlfriends. Yeah, I must admit, I feel extremely lucky that I have a lot of really good friends, and sometimes I sort of sit and think about this, about how lucky I am, because I know that not everyone has been able to form such like solid relationships with other women throughout their lives. I have friends that I met in nursery, primary school still, I have friends that I met in high school, same friends from college, and then I have my university girls, but then I also have work colleagues, I suppose the girls that work with me, as well as other girls in this industry that I love, and PRs in the industry who have become really good friends. So in honesty, yeah, I feel very, very lucky. I have a lot of girlfriends. It's why when I went on my hen do, it was like 19 of us, I think. And they are all girls that I class as extremely good friends. Yeah, I feel really lucky for that. You don't feel the need to follow the country home trend. Yeah, do you know what? I've been talking a lot about this recently on my Fro home account. I think recently what's happened is I spent a couple of months, I think it was around like February, March, when it was really grey outside and everything felt really dull and we were in all the time, and I was looking around the space and just feeling like it was just feeling a bit dull and needed a bit of a new lease of life. So I started just sprucing areas like day by day, like moving things around, taking books from places, putting them elsewhere, you know, like coffee table books, moving vases and flowers and things, and just moving around the space so it just felt a little bit more uncluttered and just a bit newer. And since that, just literally sprucing with what I already had, I tell a lie, I bought a faux bouquet of flowers and a new vase. But other than that, I moved a lot of my own things around. Since then, I've just felt so happy in my space, like so much contentment. So I very much recommend that if you're feeling a bit like, oh, everything just feels a bit drab at the moment, just give it a spruce and move things around in ways that maybe you didn't consider before. It really helps. When it comes to the country home trend, that very like cottagecore vibe, I have a lot of very cottagecore bits around my house, like in my kitchen, my shelves. I've got like lavender in a jar, and I have my wooden chopping boards and my jugs and all that, and I love that side of things. But then other rooms in my house are a bit more colourful and a bit more experimental and a bit different. And I've said this before, but it's because I have a lot of personality. I have a lot of things that I love. It's really difficult when I love Parisian interiors, I love Scandi, I love modern minimalism, but I equally love very cottagey, cozy places. So I'm always conflicted with what kind of style I want to use, which is why so many of my rooms are completely different. And I love that about the house. So yeah, so I don't necessarily feel the need to follow the trend and have my whole house super cottagey. I guess I just kind of do what I really like. If I'm feeling the cottage style one week and I want to do up a room in that way, then I will. Ooh, this is not your forever home. Do you know what? In complete honesty, I've been thinking a little bit about this recently. There's a lot I still want to do to this house. Like, I've got the garden renovation coming up soon, I've got a full bathroom renovation, and we'd also love to do the driveway and the porch and the garage so that it feels almost completely done. I must admit that with the way my personality is and how much I love to give myself tasks I like to be busy. I have a feeling that maybe in 10 years' time we might end up moving somewhere else. But who knows? Who knows? Equally, I adore this house. I love where we live and we're very, very happy here, so I don't know. But now and again I have these little feelings of I don't know if we're going to stay here for the rest of our lives. I'm really not sure. Oh, this is a nice one. You support your friends to be the best they can be and are genuinely happy for their success. Like I said, I've got a lot of friends that do different things, but I'd like to think that for all my girl mates that are offline, I'm very supportive. I'm always there if they need me. I would say I was a good friend, but I'm guessing that Eve is asking more about friends in the industry. And in honesty, I'd like to say yes. I feel like I am very supportive towards other women that I know well in the industry. I'm forever trying to help push people's launches, like Amelia's beautiful Raimi collection, when Susie launched her clothing line. You know, anyone, so many people that I know in the industry, if they're launching clothing or beauty or they've launched a product, I'll always try and buy it and show it and promote it and just show support that way, as well as always checking in and sending messages. So yeah, I see myself as someone who is very, very supportive towards other women and definitely other women in this industry. I really hope they would say the same. You have a really supportive and professional team. Yes, honestly, I don't know what I would do without my team at this point. We have a really fantastic setup. I feel everything runs like clockwork. All of the feedback I ever get from brands who work with my team and anyone is just fantastic feedback. And in this career, it's very much about reputation, not only of you, but also of your team, because what your team does on email or in person when they're speaking with brands or going to meetings would reflect on me. So it's so important to have a team that you can rely on and that you absolutely trust, or else you could really damage your reputation without even doing anything yourself. So it's really, really important, and they are the best. They're amazing. Whilst you are sophisticated on camera, off camera, you are very childish and silly in the best way. Yes, I feel very seen with this comment. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't feel I'm always super sophisticated, especially in the vlogs. I try and show a bit more of my normal side, but yeah, me and Alex just always are playing around and giggling and having a laugh and bantering with each other and kind of taking the mick out of each other, making silly songs up for Bo and singing to Bo and just having fun with life. So yeah, we do have a lot of fun. We are quite silly. You wish you had a flat in the city to enjoy the city living as well? In honesty, no. It was something I considered when we moved here, was getting like a small flat that I could kind of stay in. And honestly now, I don't know if it's because obviously of the pandemic and we've not needed to go into London, but no, I find it so easy to get into London if I need to go. It then becomes a bit more kind of exciting to go in and find a beautiful coffee shop to go and sit in and get a lovely coffee and have meetings. So in honesty, I kind of get enough from London from my trips there in a day, and I'd much rather be here. Like the expense it would cost to have someone there, I just don't think I'd use it. You believe in the law of attraction. Yes, I really, really do. I think the more positive energy and positive vibes you give out to the world, the more you get back. I very, very much believe in that. This is an interesting one. You don't stay friends with other influencers. That's not true at all, actually. I would say I'm friends with everybody in this industry that I know. Like I said earlier, I'm just a very kind of happy, bubbly person. I'm always there to offer advice or give help to people if they need it. I think sometimes it's good to kind of talk about your best traits. I think one of my best traits is that I do find myself very, very friendly and very open with everyone. I'm probably too trusting of people. I'm not the kind of person who can walk into a room and be super cold with people in order to judge them first. I know a lot of people can be a lot more guarded like that. I am literally an open book. As soon as I meet people, I probably give too much information and too much away of myself, and maybe I need to work on that, but that is just the way I am. And if people don't like that about me, then I think it probably says more about them than me. I am friends with everyone in this industry. I have no issues with anybody, I'm so happy to say. Honestly, I think sometimes people hope that there is drama around. You know, like you see on reality TV shows, how they create drama in order to create entertainment. My life and the girls I know's lives, as much as we create videos for you, which is technically entertainment, we are not living in a reality TV life. We're living an ordinary day-to-day life. We just happen to do a job that's a little bit unusual. And so some people hope that there is drama going on behind the scenes and that people don't like each other and all this, and it's absolutely not the case. I'm sorry to bore you, but it's not the case. Everyone gets on. Sometimes people are just very busy and doing their own thing, and people construe that as, you know, that someone's fallen out with someone else. Absolutely not the case. Very sorry to put a dampener on that one. You live in the south, but you'll always be a northerner. Absolutely. I will never lose this accent, even if I try to. I can't get away from being a northerner, and I would not want to. I adore the north. I mean, the north for me is Manchester, and it's quite frankly the best city, I think. I absolutely miss it so much. Ooh, this is quite interesting concerning what I've just been speaking about. You're a people pleaser and want people to like you. That could not be more true for me. I do look for appraisal from people. I do look for people to like me. I do my utmost to be as polite and well-mannered and friendly and welcoming and open to everyone that I meet, because I would hate anyone to feel that I was cold or unfriendly or unwelcoming. So yes, I am absolutely the kind of person who hopes that every person they meet, they have a good experience with me, whether that's a waitress, the bin men, my post guys, you know, someone I meet in a boutique, a follower, anyone. I'm just nice and friendly to everybody because everyone deserves politeness, I think. Wow, you over-up your accent. You over-up your accent. Does that mean I put on my accent? You over-up your accent. I don't know, does that mean? Okay, if that means what I think it means, that she's saying that I put on my accent, absolutely not. I've had this accent for as long as I can remember, and I can't dampen this even if I tried to. You can't believe how far you've come. Yes, absolutely. I had no idea what this career could bring me and how far it could go, and I'm just feeling very, very grateful for where I am so far. You're going to be doing Holland Cooper ranges for a few years at least. I can't give too much away. For any of you guys who haven't seen the vlogs recently, I'm launching my own clothing line with Holland Cooper. It'll be like end of May. I'm really excited about it. It's a line of clothing that's very Holland Cooper, and it's in their usual silhouettes and styles, but I've had the decision making on like fabrics and extra trimmings and all those beautiful extra bits that just make them super special. And we've already got a few ideas for the next collection, as well as hopefully the collections after that. So fingers crossed, if it goes super well, then hopefully we can continue it. There's a lot about kids in here as well. A lot of people saying I'd love kids, a lot of people saying you don't want kids. Some people saying you're trying for a baby. You'll have kids one day, you're planning for a baby. There's quite a lot of those actually. The baby thing, I know that a lot of people see it as quite an intrusive question. In honesty right now, we just don't know. We're at a point in our lives where we're not too sure either way. So if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. I've had a few people say this as well. You are happier than you've ever been. And it's really nice that that a few of you think that, and I'm giving off that vibe, because that's exactly how I feel. Me and Alex right now feel the happiest. Definitely the happiest we've ever been. So I'm probably doing too many now. I just don't really know where to start because it's really interesting. You were in the popular crowd at school? Absolutely not. Could not have been more the opposite actually. There are a couple here. You come from a well-off family, you were raised wealthy. I kind of talked through these on my last assumptions video, but I'm just going to touch on them again because that was years ago. Absolutely not. I don't come from a wealthy background at all. All the money I have now, I made myself. I had a wonderful, loving upbringing in just a very standard northern household. I feel very privileged for the incredible education I've had. I mean, I just went to just a regular high school that everyone can go to, but I feel very privileged for the education that I've obviously had, the amazing roof over my head, and just the amount of love that my parents gave me. But no, wasn't raised wealthy whatsoever. I absolutely have worked my butt off for everything that you see here. You have only dated Alex. No, I had a number of boyfriends before me and Alex got together. Me and Alex started dating when I was 21, so no, I had boyfriends since 16, I think. You claim to care about the planet and our environment, but you are extremely wasteful. I'll be honest, I would say amongst everyone I know personally, I am most likely the most bothered about waste in the environment than everyone else I know. I'd probably say that. The amount we recycle, the amount of things we've changed in the house to try and live a more sustainable life. Any clothes that I no longer wear, I give to charity. Anything that's super, super designer, I sell on so other people can get their hands on it. So I try to disperse things without being too wasteful. Things in the house, if I'm changing them over, I either sell them or I give them to friends and family. Like the amount of things that my family have of mine from the house that I no longer needed because they've either got new houses or they were doing things up. I'm very concerned with what is happening with the things that I have and my amount of waste, and I've spent a lot of time speaking with PR teams in terms of not sending me things so that I'm not littered with boxes and cardboard and plastics and extra products that I don't need in every shade. It just really weighs heavy on me. I don't like the idea that I'm being extremely wasteful. As much as someone might think, you know, she talks about sustainability, but actually behind the scenes she's not. That could not be any further from the truth. I'm an extremely conscientious person. A lot of things really do weigh heavy on my heart. I care a lot about the environment and animals. I mean, I care a lot about so many things. I think I show this a lot in my Insta stories. I'll be honest, I'm trying to pare it back a bit because some people were getting offended by some of the things I was saying and it became a little bit too much for me personally and my own mental health in terms of the crap I'd get back from trying to be a bit more open and outspoken about topics. But I'm trying, and like I say, I think that amongst a lot of people that I know, I most likely do the most, so every little bit that anyone can do helps. Cutting out meat, cutting down your dairy intake, cutting down how much you're throwing in the bin, upping your recycling. I mean, if we all just made little changes, it would make a massive difference. You don't always love working out. I'll be honest, most of the time I absolutely detest working out. I don't really enjoy it whatsoever, but I want to keep a healthy mind and a healthy body most of the time. And let's just do one more. Like I said, a lot of the questions are kind of similar, so I'm trying to like bunch them up. I'm going to finish on one that I've had quite a lot of questions about actually, and it's around all your clothing is designer, you no longer shop high street, you only wear luxury fashion. And again, I think I mentioned this 2 years ago in that video. All of my clothing isn't necessarily designer, it will usually be high quality, premium brands most usually, because I really shop for quality and longevity now. As I was saying before about taking in too many things, I hate the idea of filling my closets with items that either are going to be far too trend-led that I can't wear them next season, or the quality is just not going to have any form of longevity. And so probably about 5-6 years ago now, I stopped shopping as much from fast fashion retailers and moved more towards buying higher quality clothing that costs a little bit more, and therefore I really feel more passionate about those pieces. Equally, I also don't like to buy from fast fashion stores because of the sustainability aspect of them, and the fact that the majority of fast fashion retailers are churning out so many pieces, often with really poorly paid labourers, not in the best conditions and under extreme pressures to meet deadlines. And then those clothes are made extremely quickly with the lowest priced fabrics, and therefore, I mean, you get what you pay for. So yeah, it's not any kind of like snobby thing. I mean, there are a number of things in my wardrobe that are high street, and those things I've bought because I've felt the fabrics, I've looked at what the fabrics were, and I've thought, do you know what, this will actually extend across different seasons, I'll likely wear it time and time again. So yeah, my wardrobe is actually a big mixture of brands and different price points, but the main theme throughout all of them is just the quality and the longevity of those items. I wouldn't buy a £5 t-shirt with the idea of, oh well, I can wear this once and then throw it away. That thought is so far from my mind. Yeah, so I hope that kind of answers it. I have nothing against brands who are really now trying to go more green or attempting to be more sustainable or changing their practices. I realise for a lot of larger retailers it's going to take a lot of work to become more sustainable and to turn things around, which is why a lot of these brand new brands that are coming in straight from now, brand new, and they have sustainable practices are the kind of brands that I really want to kind of champion and show to you guys. But quite often because of that, they are more premium in their price points because it costs so much more to make beautiful fabrics into gorgeous silhouettes with a really low carbon footprint or by paying the workers properly, it costs a hell of a lot more money. I know this firsthand from trying to set up my own sustainable brand, as I've told you before. It is a hell of a lot of money to do it sustainably. So I've filmed now for a full hour of assumptions, so I really hope that I've touched on something that maybe you were thinking. Hopefully I've put it to rest. There was a lot in here, so hopefully it's been somewhat enjoyable and answered a lot of different questions. But honestly, I swear I've been so totally truthful in this video. I've told the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Yeah, hopefully that is somewhat useful to anyone that had any queries about me. But it's been fun to film this again. Thank you so much for being here, and I guess I'll see you in my next video. Bye!